Okay, I'll get to that in a minute. All right, so let's do this one at a time since this is the time, and I can set up your Instagram later or your email later. So Wyatt, here's the kid Wyatt. He's a goalkeeper, 11th grade, 50 to 100 emails, 2026. So here's an example. You're like 2028 is super early. You know what it takes to play at these schools, and it is very difficult. And he's not playing MLS next, so that's probably not like going to happen. Now, you never know. So let's watch. I talked to him earlier and he said he wanted to work with me and give him a call so I can take me. So I spoke to him on the live as it happened because I really liked this video, but I didn't know anything about him. So then I'm going to go here. And there's a 7-minute video. So that's obviously way too long. All right. So here's his videos. Let's see how he is. And I remember watching him going, he's a good goalkeeper. And this is where obviously you have to use your expertise. Like when I watch this, I go, it's a little awkward immediately just because it looks like he hits it with his like, yeah, I don't know. It just looks a little awkward. And that's the nature, you know how this works. So, but this is opinionated, obviously. That's a great save. Our job too is not to say like, it's to be a general analysis. Like, to be honest, he's definitely a higher level than, or before I jump into it, how do you feel? I think he's a pretty good soccer player. How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously got the frame for it and stuff. He's made a couple of big saves. Haven't seen his feet yet, obviously.
Yeah, very well said. So he needs to, as a goalkeeper, you can say like, this needs to be in chapters, or you need a different video entirely. It's a good fave. So let's see if we can find his feet here.
Or even if he starts with saves, run through the best 5 saves first, then get into your.
There you go. Very good, Quinn Meister. Very, very, very good.
And stuff like that.
Very good. Okay, I still don't see any feet. That's not a highlight. Okay, so let's say this. Based off what you've seen so far, what level do you think he can play?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously using his size and stuff, he can be at least. I don't want to use the word at least. He's not MLS next. He's made some good saves. He's got decent size. I think college is an option for him, whether that be D3 or D2. I think depending how we work with him, we could probably get some low-level D1s at least to start. Interest-wise, I think coaches will see his size, maybe see a few of the saves, and they can catch interest. But if he wants to progress higher, then stuff will have to be done. So, switching clubs, getting film against better teams, stuff like that.
Yeah, well said. So when you fill out this form, one of the questions it asks you is how many phone calls have you had? He didn't answer that. He said he sent a bunch of emails. So we know he hasn't had any calls. So that's good. I'll send you this form too, so you can just see the questions that they ask. Then Bridgeport, you can Google Bridgeport, extra points. You go, oh, I looked you up, Now here's the thing that you wouldn't have known, but it's important. So we know he wants to study something science. That means probably biology, chemistry, something along those lines. The problem is he has a 4.0. So right off the bat, we know that he doesn't want to go to any D1 program. He only probably wants to go to the Ivy Leagues or, yeah, exactly. So like Boston obviously is a very high academic school, but that's traditionally, well, let's see what part of the world he's in. He's in the East Coast, I think. Where does he live? I do ask where they live. So it should, Bridgeport. So I'd have to look up where Bridgeport. I think it's Connecticut. Connecticut, yeah. So East Coast. So he's into East Coast. But anyways, Boston, maybe he'd be of. But here's the other thing to add to that. I can tell you, and this is why it isn't. I think it's important you have 1 or 2 students so you can experience it. But 99, we have one kid. To give you an example, he's an NAL kid. He's a D1 player. I've seen his video. He is fantastic. No Division I schools are giving him a chance because he does not play MLS next. So the kid. So here's the point. The reason I watched his video yesterday and I liked him was clearly because he should be playing at a pretty high level. But he is playing at a low level of club. I think he's definitely could probably play MLS next from what the video I've seen, or certainly compete. And then I think that, so this is when you get to his, so this one I'm going to take over halfway through, but you'll hear me probably go, hey, look, here's your problem. You have great grades, so which means you can only look at 75 schools because those are the only ones with your academic levels. And unfortunately, those are also the most competitive. And on top of that, you're a goalkeeper. You don't think they already know what they need in a goalkeeper? Of course they do. So that's obviously a problem for him. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay, so that's good. This is like super helpful. So here, let me do a couple things while I have you, and we have 10 minutes. You need access to this. So let me get you access to this really quickly. Oh yeah, for simplicity, it would just be easier if you just log in. So I'm just gonna give you my login. It's typeform.com. So I'm just gonna give you
Typeform.
Yeah, Quinn. I'm gonna get you a CollegeSoccerGuy email in a minute, but typeform.com. It's okay. That's the password and username. You should be able to get in. If you can't, let me know, and we can go from there.
Did you email me? Sorry, I didn't see. I was looking at the.
No worries. I just emailed it to you, and then the other thing I'm going to look at is getting you an account, which I'll do in a minute. So that will get you access to this. You have to log in through Gmail. So there's a potential you might need me to send you like a code, and then once I do, you'll have full access to it.
Okay.
Let me think what else. Oh yeah, you said Monday through Friday next week. So from 12 to 5. So I'm going to change my schedule real quick to make myself available. And then we have to do something else before we get off the call today. We need you to be able to log into my Zoom, which I will help you do. Okay, so I'm going to make this from 12 to 5.
Said let me make sure I don't have any spaces in it, but said your username and password for Typeform was all right.
Okay, is this for which? Oh, for Zoom? Are you trying to log into Zoom right now?
No, Typeform.
Typeform, and it's the password was right. It's 1776 capital B.
Yeah. Yeah. So I managed to copy and paste it from your.
Okay, if that didn't work, log in through the Gmail because then you have to. That's probably what it is, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I changed.
So how far do you want me to go in the next call in terms of where you want to pick up?
Yeah, let's okay, log in later. Let's do this. Can I send you? I just want you to have his sheet readily available to you. So let me see if I can email it to you.
If you want, just take a picture of it.
Okay. Wait, do me. Well, we have 4 minutes. Share your screen with me. Let me see what it looks like real quick. When you're trying to log in and all that.
I'll say. You might have to give me control of it to share screen. Oh, no, we're good. All right. You see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So I was at Typeform. Okay, hold on. To get this out of the way. Thank you. I went to Typeform. And then
go into where's the login?
Yeah, you have to go to sign up first, and then you can go to login.
Okay. Oh yeah, sign up with Google. That's what it is. Sign up with Google. Yeah. That's the problem.
Yeah. I'll try that real quick.
It will definitely ask for a code. That's what it's gonna say.
Google.
And then go use another account. You're gonna need this my account anyways. It's okay. It's my business account. That's what it's for. I wonder actually real quick. Let me see if I can change the password. Hold on. It'll be easier.
Stuff.
No, it won't let me do it. Okay, did that work?
I'm grabbing your password real quick.
Okay.
And I'll try it again there. There we go. Just taking a sec.
Heather Ann, you said, what do I see happening now that the Pac-12 is breaking up? From a college soccer perspective, it doesn't really matter. If you see what's happening, like will it be more competitive, less competitive, it'll be equally as competitive. It really doesn't change a lot other than who you're playing against. Is UPSL division at 17 good? Good for your ability, not good for recruiting. Where did you play? I played at Valparaiso, and then I played pro soccer. If you look up Zev Taublieb on Google, you can see everywhere I was. For example,
real quick, your phone, it's got a notification for the.
Okay, TikTok people, I'm going to lose you for a minute. Thank you. Okay, stay there. All right, see if that works. Hit no thanks. It'll make it complicated.
Okay.
All right, did it again. Hold on. 84. Okay, that work? Looks like it maybe it did.
Yeah, I think so.
Am I Jewish? My name is Jewish. Yes, and yeah, I guess technically that makes me Jewish. Okay, looks like there we go. Perfect. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to you're gonna see a workspace called when it loads called CollegeSoccerGuy. I have a few different workspaces for different things, obviously. Go to the bottom, CollegeSoccerGuy. Yeah, that one. There's another thing too we can set up for you depending on how legit you want to take this. So sometimes people fill it out, Quinn, and they don't book a call. So you can every time someone fills out the form, you'll get an email. And if you don't see them pop up on my calendar, and even if you do, you can say, hey, I'm looking forward to the call. Hey, depending on how aggressive you want to be, which I'll show you about in a bit. Okay, so then you go to results, which you did. Give it a second. You go to search. Wait for it. Oh, responses. Click on responses. Very good.
And then searching for Wyatt?
Yeah, put in WYATT. Normally you'd have his email, but this was an exception.
Right.
And it's Crispith, or I think it's similar. There it is. Okay, perfect. Krillaspith. So you click view, the two arrows that are diagonal to the left next to the email.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Now you have everything you need about them.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's yours. Make sure you bookmark all that, so it makes your life easier. And then bookmark. Oh, I think you have it. Yeah, you do. The fit call thing. Bookmark that when you're done. Calendly is all done. You don't have to worry about that. And Wyatt Crystal. Okay, so you watch this video. Okay, so we have 3 minutes. Let's just, you're pretty much good to go. All you have to do is, I want you to take it as far as you can, Quinn. So if you want to start doing the diagnosis, if I like what I'm hearing, I will not say anything. If I don't like it, I'll just interrupt you.
Sure, sounds good.
And that, I'm not worried about it. This takes lots of practice and there's no pressure. So like I said, this is good. And then I'm going to be there on the call also. So you can, talk about it with me. And that's it. Okay, so here's the last thing. I'm going to cancel this now. I'm going to log on for you today. But in the future, you will log on to my Zoom account. The other reason that's important is it records to my account, which is how the coaches get the first recording.
Sure.
So with that in mind, let's do one thing at a time here. I'm going to hang up and I'll see you in a minute.
Recording in progress.
Mr. Triple Dots, I am Jewish, yes. But I'm not religious. Can someone, although I guess in this outfit, it makes me look it, but I'm not religious. Can someone only playing varsity high school, scoring a lot of goals, play NAI first team with full ride? Only if you contact the coach and they really like your video, then maybe. I don't see a lot of opportunities in the West Side outside of LA. It is challenging for sure. It is challenging, but there are opportunities, Heather. It just depends what you're aiming for. What do you expect for kiddos in rural areas? My kiddo's 7th grade and is left-footed winger. If he's really good, you still got to go to camps. And if you're in a rural area, camps are super important. Super, super, super important. Super important. Super duper, duper, duper important. Okay, here we go. What's the 25 Division I scholarship increase all about? So basically you can give unlimited scholarship, but the college coaches don't have unlimited money. So nothing is really changing scholarship wise, but technically on paper, there's unlimited amounts. So if they got a donor who gave $1 million, they could technically give a scholarship to everyone. Before they wouldn't be able to give a scholarship. They would be able to go on a trip or fix the locker room. But now they could give money to the players. When do you talk about getting a full ride after ID camps and what grade level? You cannot talk about getting a full ride. The college coaches must bring that up to you. You cannot be like, can I have a full ride? They have to interest in you, and then you have to have leverage from other schools, and then you have to explain your financial situation, and then they have to go, well, given that, I'll give you a full ride. You're going to have to negotiate for a full ride. But NAI schools, there it is possible. We have a student who went to Oglethorpe on a full ride. We have a couple other students who've gotten full rides before. So it can happen. It can happen. Is EA a good league? EA is a good league to start with. Okay, let's see if this family comes. Why are you unable to help international players, Canadians? I am able to, Mr. Davey. If you go to my YouTube, you will see a YouTube video. It's just more complicated. So you have to give me a call, and you do not qualify for a free call. You have to pay for the first call because I have to tell you what to do. The other calls, I don't know if I can, how it works, so I have to talk to them. We just went to OSU camp, and he loved it. Oh, that's so exciting. I will be honest. Sonny, hold on. Sonny, you can't go near the camera.
Wyatt, how you doing?
Doing good, you?
Good. Do you have your parents with you?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. My name is Quinn. I'm a former college soccer player. I'm trying to play right now. I'm a former student of Zev's. He's going to, of course, be on the call with us, but I'm going to take the first part of this call, if that's okay.
Sure.
All right, so can you confirm a few things for me real quick? First, want to confirm your GPA is a 4.0?
Yes.
Well done there. That is awesome to hear. And that you are playing at the NPL level right now, correct?
Yes, that is true.
Awesome. That's good to hear. So first, before we get started, how did you find us? Who found us?
I found you on social media, just scrolling, and ended up finding him and followed it and just watched a couple of live streams. Yeah.
Awesome. And what did you tell your parents about us?
I said that you guys help people get recruited. You've helped a lot of people get recruited, and I thought it could fit.
Awesome. And did you guys get a chance to see the longer video we sent?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So you know a bit about what we're about to do. Is it okay if I go over for the agenda for today?
That's fine.
Awesome. So two main things. I'm going to interview you guys and see if you guys are a good fit to work with us. Obviously, we do not work with a lot of students. So we got to make sure the fit is okay. But at the same time, I want you guys to interview us, right? This partnership is two ways. Obviously, we have to make sure the fit is two ways as well. Second part is me and then Zev a little bit stronger towards the end. He's going to try to scare you away from playing college soccer. It's obviously a lot of work. Probably make your mom's job a little easier. But we'll see. Hopefully you have what it takes. All right, so just to get a picture of where you're at right now, in terms of college coaches, where are you at? Have you had any phone calls with college coaches, any visits?
Yeah, I had a phone call with Dayton.
With Dayton?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I have a couple other coaches that I've emailed, and they've sent me back emails, saying we'd like to see you in person. And
okay. That's good. Okay, so you got a little bit on your belt. And from your perspective, Wyatt, what do you need the most help with from us? What is it you're reaching out to us for?
Just kind of like how to get more phone calls, like, the messages to send to coaches that, get their attention or say, this is a good player. I think we need him.
Okay, awesome. And Mom, from your perspective, why do you think Wyatt, how do you think we could benefit Wyatt the most?
Well, I never played college sports,
Okay.
so I'm really new to this, and
Sure.
He's got the potential, and so I just want to be able to help him as much as I can, and if that's reaching out to people like you or
Sure.
other options, I don't know what he should be doing, and he wants to play D1, and I know that's tougher. So how do we get him seen? How does he email people?
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Before we kind of get into our diagnostic, Wyatt, from you, why do you want to play college soccer? Obviously, it's a ton of work. Your schedule is going to be busy. Why is it do you want this so much?
There's a couple reasons. I mean, I love playing soccer. Obviously, I want to just further my career in it,
Sure.
The scholarship option also helps with school, pay for my school.
Of course.
And that's pretty much it. Not playing. So
That's awesome. Those are very good reasons, and you need a strong reason if you want to do this. And Mom, from your perspective, why is it that you want your son to be playing college soccer?
I want him to do whatever he wants to do, and he is the happiest when he is on the pitch.
As it
That
should
is-
be.
Yeah, when he's got any anxiety, stress, gets that soccer ball, he goes plays, and that's what makes him happy. So if that's what he wants to do, I will try to help him achieve it the best that I can.
100%. Love to hear that. Okay, real quick. So why, obviously me and Zev, we both watched your video, took a little notes. So kind of based on what we saw, you have a great frame. You made some couple of big saves. Would like to see some more play with the feet in the video, but kind of based on your club and where you're at right now, in the response to a couple of our questions, you wanted to play at some big schools, right?
Yeah.
I think you mentioned Wake Forest. You have a 4.0 GPA, which is a good thing because it opens a lot of doors, but it also works the other way where you don't want to go to a school that's not going to benefit you academically. Am I right, Mom?
Right, yeah.
Exactly. I was the same way. I came out of high school with above 4. I played for 2 college soccer teams. And I know I wasn't looking at a lot of the non-academic ones. So that's going to shorten your school list a bit as well. Obviously playing MPL, you're not playing MLS Next right now, which is a lot of times makes it hard to get to those top tier Division I schools. But we wouldn't be on the call with you right now if we didn't think, you were a good player and capable of playing at these high levels and stuff like that. All right. So for us, like definitely at the very bottom, right? D2, D3, we think you're very capable of, but we also think you're very capable of reaching up into these bigger D1 schools, mid to bigger D1 schools based on how we do it, right? 11th grade, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Correct.
All right. And you said you've gone a little bit under the way with the recruiting, so that's good. Obviously with recruiting now, it's a little bit different than when I was going through it with Zev. Stuff happens a lot earlier. We just had a kid commit to Duke right away, and he was a junior. But at the same time, he was reaching out to schools. He was having these phone calls from beginning of his sophomore year, right? So that's why it's very important that if we were to work together, we get started right away. Okay, Mom, I just want to reiterate: would you guys agree that academics come first?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I've told him with the college aspect that he needs to look and see that they've got the major that he wants to go into. So absolutely, academics, 100%.
And why? Just to confirm, you wanted to major something in science, correct?
Yes, science.
Okay, so for us also, that's another thing we look at with schools, right? They take your bigger bigger list of schools. That also makes them a little smaller, but in a good way, right? You want to go somewhere where you're pursuing something academically that you enjoy, right? Okay, and so I'm going to share my screen with you real quick. Let me get that going for you. Just let me know when you guys can see it, okay?
While he's pulling that up, I just want to add one more thing to your mom. I was watching your son on a live kind of recently, and that's kind of what stemmed all of this, particularly, at least instantly. Maybe your son and you were watching some videos before, but this happened just right away. And one of the things, and Quinn was on the live with me actually listening, and was like, look, you're a good soccer player, Mr. Wyatt, but you already know that from the D1 aspects. So let me back up. Who are you talking to at Dayton?
Their assistant coach, I believe, or their.
Do you know which one?
I think the assistant coach. Yeah.
Do you know which assistant?
What? I can check real quick.
Okay, one of the assistants, I don't think it's the one you're talking to, but the assistant at Dayton was my coach in college. Kelly Altman was there for a bit. So we know Dayton really well. And based on your region, one of the things that Quinn will talk to you about is the way to play D1 for you is going to be very region-based, meaning if the school is within the region, it's realistic. If they're not within the region, you'll have to go to their camp, which you already knew, but also they're going to say, we think you're great, but we got to see the showcase, and we will always run into that issue. The other thing we just want to back up and say is, yes, I want you to play D1. I think you're capable of that, and Quinn and I both do. I'm not the only one to probably tell you that, but D1 schools are not always the top academic. You know, there's very competitive top academic D3 programs that are really difficult to get into. Chicago, you know, Bowdoin, Tufts, the NESCAC schools. Now, the good news is if you want to get recruited by those, that means you're typically being recruited by D1s. So don't think of the top academic D3s as D3s. Think of them as Division I schools, just that focus on academics a little bit more. Does that make sense?
Okay.
And Quinn was being modest. You know, he went to Boston and then Air Force. So he was a top academic student. And from that perspective, when we were doing the process with him, we didn't just reach out to the D1s, because if they don't respond, as you mentioned, you haven't had any phone calls yet, we have to say, well, Middlebury's talking to me. And and then they go, oh, I didn't know that. Now I need to respond. And that's just how this works. So Quinn, please do talk to him about kind of the next things, how we need to fix the video and all that.
Sure. And one more thing about the D3 with academics, right? Once you start talking to these D3s and stuff, for me, I always wanted to play D1, but like I said, I was academically inclined. I went on to visit Claremont McKenna, right? And coaches there, which you don't know, is a good academic school in California. Even then, the coaches there, if you want to progress, they will help you when you build these relationships. And, you know, that's obviously what we're trying to do, even if they're not D1. Okay, so our steps. First step, video. You sent us your video. It's good. It's a little long. We're gonna need to trim that down. We're gonna have to section it a bit more, which obviously we can help you with. Where it's right now, you have a lot of saves right off the bat, but after those first couple saves, you know, college coaches, they're gonna want to see other things, right? They want to see your feet. They're gonna want to see you clean crosses. They want to see how you direct things, and so we're gonna work on sectioning your video up a little with you. Also, we need self-interview that we probably started. That gives us a little bit of your personality, shows coaches who you are as a person, who you are as Wyatt, not just the goalie, right? Next, email AI. So you said you've sent around 50 to 100 emails so far. We're gonna work with you on your emails and help you draft them yourself, how you're gonna respond to certain coaches. You'll be working with us, me and Zev, if you obviously decide to work with us. We use an AI system that lets you email a ton of coaches all at the same time. It's a huge time saver. You don't have to find their emails and stuff like that, but that's something we would work with. Camps, have you been to any camps yet?
I've been to one so far. I went to WVU's camp.
Okay. And how'd that go?
It went good. I was still a little young at the time, but I mean, I knew the coaches because they were my travel coaches at one point. So,
okay. So there's a relationship there.
Yep.
Okay. Well, like Zev said, for you specifically, you know, the schools that you're going to want to go to are going to be a little region based, and if they're not, you know, college ID camps are going to be a pathway for you. So our job, we want to help you advise which camps to go to, how to email those camps leading up to it, post, how to keep relationship with those coaches. So that's definitely something we do. Number 4, with audit, you said you've already emailed a bunch of coaches. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through those and kind of see what interest we have. Guarantee you a coach left his phone number, you know, and his signature at the bottom of the email.
Yeah.
Exactly. Correct. So we need to be texting those coaches, right? We got to be getting to them. And last step, in the first part, club soccer, right? You're at NPL right now. Ideally, there are pathways, the higher schools from those leagues. A lot of D1 sometimes only recruit MLS Next. So we will be looking, how to use your coach, how to use these relationships to maybe progress up the college or the club soccer pathway. So you get more eyes on you that way. Step 2, after we've got, a giant variety of colleges that we're looking at, right? We're going to be sending hundreds of emails, right? We're going to reach out to a lot of schools, D1, D2, D3. We're going to start going to we're going to narrow down your schools for you, right? That's based on 2 things, right? First off, who likes you? Who are you getting responses from? If the email is just a general camp invite versus being a genuine invite, they want to talk to you. You guys are talking on the phone. They're responding to qualities about you rather than just, putting you into a template and sending you to get them off your butt, right? Obviously, I'm sure you've gotten a few of those. But I think one of the most important things is the schools that you like, right? I can tell you firsthand as someone that transferred, where you go is very important, right? And that's a combination of the school, the academics, what majors they have, also the coaches though. I'm not sure if many of your friends that play college soccer, if you talk to a lot of guys that play college soccer, but the coach is the biggest factor that's going to determine if you're happy or not at a school.
Okay.
Right. So we want to get you on the phone with these coaches. We're going to get you visiting some of their games, talking to them in person, building a relationship. So when you commit to a school, it's not just like, oh, yes, this is a cool campus, but this is someone that I trust with the next 4 years of my college career, right?
Okay.
So let me unshare there. Anything scaring you away so far, Wyatt? All right, that's good. That's good to hear. All right, let me pull something up real quick. All right. Sorry, Mom, try it.
Like I said, he
Nice.
loves soccer, loves it. So
Okay, well, that's good to hear. All right,
I
I'm
wouldn't
gonna
let him
share-
play when he was a kid, but somehow we got,
You wouldn't let him play?
no. I
Why
was
not?
never into soccer. I knew nothing about soccer. I played sports, but never soccer.
What sport did you play?
I played softball and volleyball and basketball.
Oh, wow.
Softball was my main thing. I did a lot of traveling with that, so I know the travel aspect, but
Gotcha. Big shoes to fill.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to share my screen again. All right. And so are you guys familiar with these other platforms? NCSA, Sports Recruit, Scouting
Yes.
Zone?
So I actually do have NCSA.
we have, he signed up for an NCSA. That's where he emails a lot of people. He sends the highlight reels too.
Okay, gotcha. Right, and so that is a platform where coaches will be able to see your email and stuff. We kind of want to go off that and kind of compare how we differ from NCSA. So the NCSA, they're doing a lot of stuff from their end. It's not going to be coming directly from you, right? And so when a college coach sees your emails, right, they're always going to see, that little bit of NCSA. With us, everything is directly from you. It's from your email. In the first column, video edits, we're going to be doing a lot of the video for you, right? We're going to take that off your handle. We're going to make sure they're crisp. We're going to make sure they're edited.
Quinn, 1 second too. And Quinn and I
Sure.
spoke about this before. You're using NCSA, correct, to send some emails. I can basically guarantee you, and you don't have to take my word for it. You can ask Quinn or ask any other college ID camp coach you go to. You will get 80% less responses from NCSA. That is not my opinion. That is just a fact of the nature. They hate NCSA. Now, if you're getting responses, we're not going to take you away from NCSA because they're responding to you. That's great. But you are not going to a middle of nowhere school in Iowa. That's what NCSA is built for. You want to go to a top academic D3 school. They do not like NCSA. And I just got off of a podcast, which is part of my job. And I talked to these coaches and I asked them, because if NCSA worked, I'm not competing with NCSA. You can still get extra help, quote unquote, and I can use NCSA. The whole reason I built that email system thing is because the coaches said, we don't like getting mass emails from NCSA. We send mass emails from our ID camps. We are owned by NCSA. NCSA pays us. We pay NCSA a fee so we can send you a generic email to every camp on earth. But NCSA, you will, even if you don't work with us, stop using NCSA. You will not get the same. Every time you send an email, you'll never know if they could have responded if it was from your own account. You'll never know. Does that make sense? Now, you can have a free account. If they're looking at your profile, great. There's a couple exceptions to the rule. Awesome. But the D1 schools, that is for sure. That's out of your mind. And if they follow you, you'll never know if it's real. That's my thing. And we don't have a platform. Our whole thing, of course, is, in regards to doing it from your own account, your own YouTube and everything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And I just want to make that extra clear because even if you don't work with us, we still want to help you, but using NCSA will hurt you.
Okay.
Exactly. I can speak from experience myself. Coaches want to know it's from you, right? They're only recruiting you for, how you play, but they're wanting to recruit you as a person. Make sure you're doing everything, that you're independent and stuff like that. That's kind of one of the things we focus on. But on that first column, video editing, we're going to have you make every touch video. We're going to have you make a highlight reel. We're going to be sending constant video. And we'll be doing that, right? You send us the video and we'll construct that for you. That's kind of what we want to make sure it's the most professional, precise thing we can do. So that's how we help you there. AI system I spoke about with the Gmail. So 24/7 access, right? So you're going to be working with me, with Zev, mostly a coach like me. Zev will be, obviously monitoring, checking in and giving his input. But we work on Discord. And so as much as you like, schedule calls with us. We want to be that mentor for you. We want to guide you through this. And, sometimes that's not, a rigid schedule. We want you to reach out as much as you can, right? And last thing, you work with NCSA, you give them your money, money's there, right? Whether you get recruited or not, For us, we genuinely want to help you get recruited. That's our goal here. And so if you're not getting any genuine college interest within the first 3 months, fire us, you get your money back, right? And so that's kind of, we want to make sure it's all about you guys getting genuine college interest. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick. And so Wyatt, is this kind of what you're looking for? Does this kind of resonate what you were expecting, what you're looking for?
Yeah, obviously I want to get recruited. That's, the big thing. I would like to get a scholarship and offers.
Right.
I think it'd be the coolest thing, telling people, hey, I got offered.
100%.
Yeah.
No, I've experienced that firsthand. Mom, is this kind of what you're looking for in terms of, what we offer, what you're looking to help with Wyatt?
Yeah, someone else to help.
I'm
Yeah,
sure I was the
someone with
same way.
knowledge
Neither of my parents ever played college sports or anything.
And it's so competitive, and we're in West Virginia. So, I mean, you mentioned MLS Next, the closest one. It's like 2.5 hours away.
Exactly.
So we're limited on resources here. I mean, we've got 3 million people in our state. Pittsburgh has that in their whole city. So it's hard to compete. But, I mean, he has the work ethic. He's great in school. He wants to play, and he's good. I mean, I know him as long as I'm biased, but I'm also really tough on him, and I would tell him if I didn't think he was good. I mean, I do have sport knowledge, so I can look and compare.
Sure.
But I do think that he could go on and play D1. I wouldn't just fill him up for that.
100%. Okay. Well, that is great to hear. Last thing before we kind of go into like what working with us would look like. Wyatt, from you, obviously, here with CollegeSoccerGuy, we don't take on a lot of students, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of one-on-one work. It's a lot of work directly with that student. So we don't take on a lot. Why do you think, you'd be a good fit for us? And why do you think, that we should take you on?
You're kind of like investing in me, and I feel like I'm a good investment. I feel like I can, get somewhere with it. And, obviously if I do, it's just going to make you look even better.
100%. And Mom, you touched on it a little bit before, but why do you think Wyatt is a good fit to work with us?
I mean, I've never looked at it as an investment, but I mean, it's true. I mean, he will be out on the field every day. He studies hard. He takes all the AP classes. He is a good leader. He would be a great defense attorney because he's so intelligent. He has the personality and the drive, the work ethic. So he can go somewhere, and I think he would succeed wherever he goes. And you are a business too, so I mean, it does, like he said, it would benefit you guys as well to take on that right athlete.
That's obviously all good qualities to hear. That's definitely someone we're looking for. So last thing, I'm going to share my screen again with you guys. And so this is kind of the email you'd get if, we decide that, this is a good fit and it's something you guys are looking for. So first, I talked on a little bit before, unlimited one-on-one meetings, right? You'll be working with a coach like myself. You'll have Zev in the background, giving his input, giving his advice. And that's all going to be via Discord, weekly meetings. One thing is super important in the first month, if you do choose that this is a good fit for you, you must meet with us every week. And that's something to get you started that, we need to be involved. We need to get the ball rolling. And that's something we look at right away. Again, unlimited videos. So another thing is super important is that you send us these videos, right? So that way we have stuff to edit, we have stuff to put out, something to get in front of these college coaches, right? So unless you're playing in front of them every single day, it's hard to get recruited from a coach that, doesn't live by you, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
Game
sorry,
video
Quinn,
review.
I want to add two small things.
Sure.
You need a training video and you don't have one, and that's non-negotiable for goalkeepers. You must have a
Right.
training video. So in addition to the highlight video you have is quite good. We're going to split that up into like 1 7-minute clips for Instagram and Twitter, but also we need to split it up into a good highlight video. Quinn and I are watching for 5 minutes going, I've seen you stop the ball to go in the goal. I need to see other things. So to college coaches. So we'll fix that. The other thing is Quinn mentioned you're going to work with me and him But we also are going to partner. Your main coach is going to be a goalkeeper who's going to go, I help kids play college soccer as a goalkeeper. Does that make sense?
100%.
Because you are a goalkeeper, and I'm not a goalkeeper, and Quinn's not. I'm 5'6", and Quinn's 5'8". So we are not goalkeepers. But we've done it before, and one of the things then he's going to talk about, obviously, going over video, and that's what we're going to go over video, not necessarily so you get better, although that is inevitable. We're going, hey, college coaches need to see more of your talking. So if we need to put a camera behind the goal, if we need to mic you up, if we need to have a training video with older players, if maybe it's too far to travel, but let's go to, like, I know you're in West Virginia. I lived in Virginia for a while with the Kickers. How do we have you play with older players? We're going to have to think outside the box here because you want to play D1. Okay. So with that in mind, sorry, Quinn was just saying, and we talked about this before, is the training video for you is different. That is a different thing. Okay. All right. Keep going, Mr. Quinn. Sorry.
And yeah, he touched on it a little bit with the game review, right? He'll be working with a goalkeeper. He's going to give you his advice and pointers from, someone who has made it in college soccer, right? College Soccer Guy Drive, College Soccer Guy AI. So this is our price. We're $5,000, but this is a one-time fee, and you work with us for life, right? And so that means, first we're obviously going to focus on you getting into college, getting you on a team. But after that, during college, guys play in the summer, right? And so we'll be helping you with that, getting you on a summer team USL 2 like I've done in the past. If there's pro aspirations in you, Wyatt, we'll still be working with you then, guiding you through how you get in touch with agents, coaches, stuff like that. So it's a one-time fee, and break it into three months of 1666. And like I said before, if you're not genuinely having genuine interest within the first 3 months, we'll get, access, fire us, money back guarantee. Okay. I'm sharing my screen right there. So Wyatt, let me ask you, scare you away yet?
No.
A lot of work.
I'm a goalkeeper. I'm tough, I gotta have that strong mental.
I'd love to hear that. Any questions? Let's say that if you guys were to sign with us, is there any questions you guys would have before the end of this call?
Yeah. So you mentioned you keep it a small number. What are your numbers? How many coaches do you have? How many kids do you have?
Yeah, good questions. Yeah. Good questions. So basically, it works like this. With your son, we have 3 other goalkeepers right now who are 26s. None of them are Division I level. Most of them are going to play mid-tier D2 or low to mid-tier D3. He'll be our highest level goalkeeper. But we do have other goalkeepers. Then we have 10 coaches. Quinn is one of those coaches. I am monitoring the situation. So to your question, I'm going, who needs a goalkeeper? Because that changes all the time. This new 2025 rule is going to make your son's life a little bit more difficult because the goalkeepers they made offers, they're going to have to rescind them for some of them. And those kids are going to take a gap year. And now your son will be competing with 25s again, if that makes sense. And that just happened 2 weeks ago. I wouldn't have taken on a lot of the 25s I took if I knew this rule was going to happen. So that makes my life, the life that we have a little bit more difficult. And then in terms of how many players total, we have 10 coaches and there's about four students per coach. So 50 to 60 kids. And those are kind of our numbers as of right now. I'm looking on to bring more coaches, so it could grow, but your son will only work with a coach who's working with 4 other kids, and they won't always be goalkeepers. That same coach is qualified to help other people, but he's going to help. He will be the only 26 who wants to play D1 that we have, who we think is capable of doing so. The other goalkeepers, and we have other goalkeepers who are 28s. We have 2 other goalkeepers that are 28s and 1 other 27. So your age, we have 3 others. So you'd be the 4th, but like I said, they are not your level, at least in our opinion. And soccer subjective, but that's the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. Good question. The last thing to this, sorry, I don't know if you can hear that. I just got a puppy. The last thing to this is Quinn is going to send over the contract that kind of explains the next steps to go, hey, this is what the next steps look like. Because we work with a limited number of students and we do have another call right after you. They are a goalkeeper. We're only going to work with 1 more 26. That's kind of the deal at the minute anyways, unless somebody gets injured or something. So with that in mind, we just have to hear from you back in 24 hours. If in 24 hours you say, hey, we have a question, of course, email Quinn. I'm copied on it. We're happy to answer. But if we don't hear from you, then we will have to give the spot away. Perfect. Quinn is going to send you the email, and he's going to just do a few closing words while I shut my door.
Yeah, so and obviously you guys heard it. 24 hours. Is there any last questions you guys have, whether it's about the program or my background or Zev's or anything?
In those first 3 months, what are like the average expectations, that you get from colleges?
Yeah, so it obviously varies by player. But what our goal is, genuine interest. This is phone calls. This is going to a fall game with a coach. You're meeting him. You're shaking his hand.
To be really specific with you, to be what we expect with you is you're going to have two problems. One, they're going to say, we really like you. We'd like to see you at a camp. And you're going to go, another gosh darn camp. Should I go or shouldn't I go? And we're going to help you decide. So you're going to get invites to camps. That's going to happen. Number two is with the D3 schools, I expect you on phone calls in the next 3 months. I don't always say that because you might not believe me and then it's too good to be true type of mentality. So I give myself 3 months, but I want to fix your video in a week. I want the video going out to 100 schools. There's only 75 top academic ones. So we'll go to 75 top academic D3s. Then it'll go to about 25 to 50 D1s. And I expect that to happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And then I expect those to respond to us. And I expect you to be texting. The D3s, I expect phone calls. To give you an idea, if you want to play top academic D3, you have to be done in 1 year. August, they will make their offers. So all of our top academic D3 kids are done in August. Does that make sense? The D1s have until November because ED1 is November 1st and they have a bigger budget and then they can take internationals kind of in March. So they have a slightly extended timeline, but the top academic D3s, which are our backup, but if they're going to be a backup, they have to be bringing you on a visit this fall or in the spring. Otherwise, that will not happen. It can happen, I suppose, in the fall too, but that's not the intention. Also, as you know, we need them to do a pre-read. I need them to look at your GPA and say you're on track. And they won't do that for fun. They need to think they're going to recruit you. So the D3s is where you're going to get a better feedback to me that you've gotten thus far. The D1s are always going to go, we need to see you in person. And the truth is, to get recruited by a D1 school with our help or not, you have to be seen 2 to 5 times. 2 at an ID camp, 1 at a showcase. You don't have those showcases. So then the only other way to get recruited is you have to say to them, I have 5 calls with a top D3 school. I know that you haven't been able to see me. I'm going to come to your camp. And because you have interest from the other D3s who may have to make calls for you, like Quinn mentioned, that's how we beat the barrier. So we're really up against it because of where we live, which is not your fault. I lived very far. Drove 2 hours of training. So did Quinn. That's just the nature of the sport. So we're trying to go, look, we want to be transparent and go, it's going to be tough to play D1, but here's the problem. We think you're D1 level, and that's a bummer. It'd be a lot easier if I didn't think you were, because then we would only email the D3s. But I don't think the D1s are out of the question, especially the ones within the region, because they can come to a game if they like
you.
Yeah. Keep going. Good questions. Though, give us another one.
And anything else?
So you're available at anytime we have a phone, like a question, we can call you or text you.
Good question. So how it will work is we're going to put your son in an app called Discord. It's how he found us to begin with. We've done calls and texts in the past. But you guys, he has his school he needs to focus on. He has an email from dentist or whatever. It just didn't work. So we put everyone in the app. And that way it's just one place for everything. And mom, maybe it's not something you're used to using, but we do want you on it. Because that way you can text us. Your son can show you how to use it. And you can absolutely text us 24/7. And you can book us. It will be a Zoom call more than like a phone call. But you just book us because we need like a day in advance just to know you're going to call us. And go, hey, we need to have a meeting. And like we said, it's part of our contract. You have to meet with us every week for the first month within reason. If you get sick or you have a tournament, we don't care. We're just saying it to go, hey, we cannot work without your help. Like we are on a team here. If you are willing to meet with us, we give the guarantee. If you don't meet with us, then it will not work.
Gotcha. What is your guys' rapport with college coaches or colleges? I mean, do you have ones that you work more heavily with?
Yeah, good question. So I've been doing this for about 10 years as a professional, if that makes sense. I'm 31.
Mm-hmm.
So at 22, I got my master's and I wrote a thesis actually on why NCSA sucks. And that's how everything got started. Now NCSA has helped other people. So I'm not always perfect, but to answer your question, Basically, I did that thing. I started the thesis, and I got my master's, and then I posted a video on TikTok, and it just blew up. To be transparent, I was playing pro soccer at the time. I was like, here's how to play college soccer, and just a lot of people liked it. So then I started doing it professionally. But to be clear, while college coaches know who I am because I almost got drafted, and they know who I am because I played pro soccer for 10 years in the USL and MLS, they know my reputation, but I will never call a coach for you. None of us will. And while they know that you're getting, like, nobody sends as many every touch videos, nobody sends the emails as professionally, so they have a hint that it's one of our students. But to be honest, I've never seen your son play in person. They don't want my opinion. They need your coach's opinion. And if your coach was willing to do what I'm willing to do, he'd be the perfect person for the job. But he's not going to make every video, every email, every message 24/7 because he's a busy person and he has a job. So we mediate it to go, I kind of know which coaches need goalkeepers. I kind of know who needs what. And then I go based off of that, kind of like dating. This is what you should text the girl. Like, text her this right now today because she's single. Or, whatever the terminology is. So, she needs somebody to go to the dance. This is the moment. Send them a message. And with that in mind, that's how we do our method. And you'll see in the email, there's a couple references. You'll see some goalkeepers, and you'll have our whole list of every kid from the last 5 years who have gone to play college soccer and how much money they got, what club level they were playing at, and their parents' phone number and the kids' phone numbers. The reason I go live with your son is I like to be transparent because that was my thesis with NCSA is I don't think they're transparent. So the thing to answer your question, which is a good question, is like, what's our success rate, quote unquote, in our scholarship rate? If your son keeps at 4.0, we're looking at $60,000 to $80,000 from all the students we've worked with so far. If you want only scholarship, aim for the D3s. There's way more academic money. Now, the cool part, there's this new rule that there's no limit on scholarships, but you'll see a video. I'm going to post it shortly. The schools we're talking to don't have an unlimited amount of money. They're not giving everyone scholarships. So that's not really changing. But, let's say his third year, he could talk about getting a full ride because they will have more money. They will have raised more money by then. So assuming the rule doesn't change again. So with that in mind, with him, it depends. If you want only money, then there's different schools we have to talk to. The good news is, or the bad news and good news, Mr. White, do you have any offers today?
No.
So for now, we have to be open-minded. Now, we're going to be open-minded to the top 75 top academic schools. We're not going to go outside of those. But, let's say we're going to email Clarkson. Maybe you're less familiar with Clarkson. They're a top 5 Division III program, very good academics, great science, good in STEM. You've never heard of them. That's my job. Go, they play great soccer. They need a 26 goalkeeper. We're going to email them. If they love you and you don't like them, great. We'll leverage them to Middlebury, of a school you might be more interested in, because they beat Middlebury and they did better than them because they went to the tournament. So to answer your question, then we never talk to coaches directly. Also, it is illegal on paper. Like, I can't. You saw that scandal. It would be technically illegal for me to call him as an agent, even if I think your son's really good. And so this is our workaround, per se.
Workaround, I gotcha.
Yeah, good question.
And where are you located at right now?
Quinn and I happen to both be in Los Angeles. The goalkeeper coach your son will work with will be in the Midwest, Colorado, as of right now. Okay. But time zone wise, obviously, like, his schedule it's whenever you guys are available is when we will make our schedule.
Other questions?
More questions.
Okay.
Good.
Great. I think you answered all the questions. I mean,
awesome. Yeah, like I said, if you have another one, just let us know. We're going to send over an email with all the next things. We have to jump on to the next call. If you have any other questions, just let us know, and we'll talk soon.
all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you guys.
You too.
Recording in progress. Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Okay, good growth. Good quiet. Good growth. Good growth. Okay, let's go for a quick walk. Okay, Sonny, we go for a walk. You're biting me. It's not okay. You cannot be biting me. And I cannot be giving you random treats. That's not how this process works. Hello, everybody. I'm still live. I forgot actually. I can answer questions if you're willing to wait. I got to take my dog to go pee. So if you want to wait 5 minutes, I will be back and I can talk to you guys for a little bit longer. Actually, I should let you go. Please quick one. Is MLS2 starter or is MLS next bench going in senior year? Going to senior year, you got to do whichever you're going to play, wherever the most minutes are. Down, Sonny, down. Okay, guys, I gotta go. Good girl, stay. My son is 13, and we started to look ahead at where he needs to go. This is both fascinating and terrifying to begin learning. Please use transparency. You're welcome, Ethan. Down, Sonny, down, Sonny, down. Stay. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you soon. I gotta go. If you need help, give me a call. Down, Sonny, down. Gotta train your dog just like we train you guys how to play college soccer. Okay. Much love. Talk to you all soon. Stay. No.